Welcome back. On today's episode, we're going to be getting the MR2 ready for track. Welcome back everyone. It's been about 4 weeks, been very busy, but now we're back on schedule. We can start doing some regular videos again. You'll notice we're outside. Again, a long time since we've been outside. I'm in a t-shirt, shorts and some funky socks. This is the first time I've had to make a video, and we're going to be preparing this thing for track because I have the first event in the sprint coming up on, well, 3 weeks time. So I've got to get the car sorted. I need to get it aligned afterwards. So I've got a lot of things to do. We'll talk through them now. Forgot what I was going to say. Beautiful day. I thought we'd take a look over the car today, go through what's changed, because there's quite a lot changed on the car since you saw it last time, and then we'll talk over what we're going to be doing. But first of all, let's have a quick look at what's happened here. Always embarrassing. Stood outside filming when someone walks along or drives along. So as you can see, the Malian exhaust is gone. We've kept the bumper bar, but I've now gone for a single exit exhaust which comes through the bumper. We've got a 100-cell sports cat. You can now see the white line anti-roll bar and everything. This was done because I needed to keep the noise level down on track, and this is significantly quieter. You've got a box behind here that I'll show you in a minute, which is repackable, but it sounds a lot better. It's a lot quieter until you open it up, and then it's really raspy. The only thing I did have to do is, because we're still on a stock ECU, I've had to put a spacer on the second wideband so that it didn't throw an engine light, because it did throw an engine light to start with. But we code read it and blah, 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 something other words. And I'll show you what it sounds like, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So it's immediately quieter, as you can tell, a lot quieter than the Malian, which is for sale if you want it. So it's a lot quieter than it was before, but it sounds good when you open it up. Let's just open the lid and I'll show you what it looks like. I forgot you can still hear me because I've got a microphone on. I cut the bumper, so it's coming through here. It's what we wanted to do originally when I first got the car. But we've got a repackable box up here. Ignore all the dried polish, which I should have cleaned off. So you can unbolt the box and we can repack it. Just stainless through here. Drops down to a 100-cell sports cat with a spacer for the OEM ECU. Straight through into the Malian manifold. There's going to be something coming soon with that, and this will mean that I can keep the exhaust system to go with what I want to do. So also the other thing to mention, I had to take all these heat shields out. This came off of Pete's car, thank you Pete, but he had a 2ZZ at the time, so he didn't have all this crap in here. I've had to take the heat shields out, so what I've done is, you won't be able to see, I've put like a straight silicone 3-inch, and I've got this plate in here which I just bodged in, which I need to tape this bit up, and I forgot all about. So the air just goes around here into the box. Got K&M filter in here that I need to clean. We've also got the oil cooler, don't forget, for track. I honestly can't wait to get this on track. With the EDFC and all the other bits and pieces, the first round is going to be Kerbera, so it's going to be a sprint course. I purposely have road tyres to put me in a different class to try and keep me away from all the people I usually race against, who are going to be on semi-slicks, so they'll be in the class above me. So it gives me a chance to not get too disappointed when I do terribly. Or if I win, I'm probably the only person in my class, which is honestly the reason why I did it. Too hoot. Recording outside, it's quite embarrassing. The yellow top is attracting a lot of bugs. So let's take a look. I've got you on the old gimbal. So the exhaust talked about. I've also fitted the EDFC, which you would have seen in the last video, which is incredible. The car is so flat. That is great. I still need to set it up properly, but oh my god, it's amazing. So we've got the motors for the EDFC, exhaust talks about. Got one seat. So in today's video, we're going to be fitting the second seat. So we'll have a matching pair of seats. There's the EDFC. Please excuse the state of the car. It is an absolute... And there is a piece of bird poo, which has been dried on here for about 2 weeks. splitter and all that junk you've seen. So we're going to be changing these discs, which are all pitted and horrible. I think someone's tried to put them on a lathe to get rid of the lip or something, I don't know. So we're getting rid of the discs and pads, and we're putting PBS pads, and we're putting plain discs on just because it's going track. PBS pads, just for the fronts today because the rears are brand new and they're not going to be doing so much. So we're doing front pads and discs. I've also got Toyo, what are they, proxy T1R or TR1, so I can't remember what they're called. So I got these because I wanted to keep 15s. There wasn't a lot available and I thought I'd give them a go on the track. So we've also gone 15s rear. So I've just got these from the guys at Lincoln and fitted a set of, oh, they are T1Rs, 205 50-15s on the back. These are brand new the other day, hence the tyre soap. And then 195 50-15 on the front. So we're on 15s all around. So I also need to sort the ride height out because we had 16s, we had a bit of rake. I've got to sort the ride height out tomorrow. Got camber bolts to fit on the back so we can have a little bit of camber going on. I'll be fitting my PBS sunstrip. Oh yeah, the main reason we've got to do work. Don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it here. No, you can't. The rack is broken. So it's a pretty common thing. The steering racks crack on these. My steering rack is cracked. I don't know how long it's been like that. I saw it when I did the EDFC. So I have a second hand rack from the guys at Lincoln, which I have put new track rod ends on and unseized it all. So it's ready to go on. We'll have a look at that in the morning. It's currently Friday. I'm filming outside because it's sunny today and it's not meant to be sunny this weekend. So I thought I'd do a nice little intro outside. And then we'll go in the garage and we'll fit all this crap and maybe go on a road test. I also wanted to try and do a drive-by, but with the splitter on the car, it is extremely hard down here.
That's what she said.
So let's try again. So I also forgot to mention is this brake is binding. So I've got new calipers going. The new caliper is red. This one's black. The other one's black. I have to get some paint. Hope like t-shirts. Available from all good links below. Apparently I need to shave, so I have a shave before tomorrow. So if you guys are enjoying the channel, you find it helpful, or you just want to support me, don't forget to buy a t-shirt or a sticker or something. I'll put a link down here to where you can get them from. So we've got the logo up here. It's pretty cool. These were made by Alex over at Monster Graphics. Then on the back, so if you like the channel and you want to support me, please buy a t-shirt. So it's the next day, it's rained and I was planning to get this out and get MR2 in last night, but stupidly I left the door open, so it's flat as a pancake. So there is shit everywhere. Do you want some wheels? Some 16-inch wheels here for sale. Let's get that off and this out, and so they're switched over. That is how they're running because it's flat as a pancake. I have taken it for a drive, but it's flat. I love working on wet, horrible cars. Moved around. Let's have a look. Car is in. That one's charging outside. Hopefully it doesn't pour rain. So this is what we're doing. New seat to replace the red leather seat. So I've got a matching pair. New seat rails from Rogue Motorsport to match the other side. My PBS sunstrip to fit. PBS front pads, Pro Track. They are. Some plain discs, because my discs are pretty pooped. Going to be doing a fluid change. Miller's Motorsport 300 plastic, what is it, .4? But it's like 300 degrees. It's awesome stuff. I use this in all my cars. I've got a new caliper because I think this caliper needs doing, or at least the carrier or something needs doing. New rack. I say new, brand new second-hand rack. But I've changed the track rod ends. So these are all new. And I've cleaned all the threads in here, copper greased them, freed it all off. Same this side, so it makes it easy for lining afterwards. Got this fluid because the Toyota fluid's ridiculous money. This was like 15 quid. So this is the power steering fluid. That's a little joke on the side. We'll talk about that later. I have camber bolts for the rear, back camber bolts, and I have these to try to replace the stock ones on the subframe. I don't know if they'll fit, but PBS. If you need brake pads, PBS. So now we have the car jacked up. I don't know if there's going to be enough room to get under to do the right. You can see where we need to get to. So there is the UJ. So I've got to take this out again, as usual. I took all the plastic out because it just makes my life a little bit easier all the time. The wheels off so I can get to the brakes and the track ends and get the steering UJ off. Seat out. That's a lot of it in this area. Okay, so the seat is out. We have the new seat rails. I love working in this tight area. Probably have undone these before I walked over here. So you can see how they work. So that is, ooh, let me stretch down that one there, and that one there. On the other side, I've had to cut to allow me the access because this bottom bolt here gets in the way if you want to push it as far back as possible. I needed that as far back as possible because I'm a giant, not so much for the passenger seat. So I'll probably get away with it. I do need to work out something here. I need to find a new bolt and a spacer so we can put the seatbelt buckle in. Join me in a second and I'll show you how to put them on the seat. Oh, hello again. Right, let me show you. So they're just bolted in, so they use the seat bolts to bolt them in. There and there. That one's got to come out in a minute, like I say, for the seat belt. Oh, I just walked into the back of the toolbox with my bum. This seat is very old, so I'm not that fussed about it being nice. I also had to cut like here, sorry, on my driver's side because I'm so lanky to be able to get it. Oh, I've just bummed into that again. Let's close that. To get it to go far enough up, because there's plastic, to get it to sit right, but this should be okay. I reckon we can get away with those two holes there. I bought some cap bolts for this. Cha-ching. Hope they're the right thread. Again, hard to do with one hand. So they are M8 by 1.25, I want to say. Does it even say on here? Amazon's finest. No, it doesn't. But I'm pretty sure they're M8 by 1.25. All seats are the same. So let me get them bolted on. Then we can throw it in the car, see what it looks like, and then I can do the seatbelt afterwards. Okay, here you go. That's bolted on so you can see what it looks like. Ka-chow, ka-chow. I've put it as far back as possible to seat the seat as far back. Awkward. Sick. Okay, so that can't go any further back, so that bolt, which is quite annoying, which is the issue I had on the other side. So I've got to cut them again, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, if you ask me. Let me just show you what I'm talking about, because you can't actually see anything. So to allow this seat to go far enough back, that's where I want it. So it sits pretty much in line with that, to give you as much leg room. Problem is, that back bolt sits here, so this mount is now in the way. So what I had to do on the other side, let me show you. It's not the nicest job, so don't criticise it. But I had to cut that out, and it's cut that way because I was going to slide it back even more, but this trim got in the way. Bing, bing. So I can actually go back a little bit further if I take this trim out, which is what I'm going to do eventually, and put a harness bar across here. Oh, it looks so much better. Look at that, no more red interior. Right, fortunately I need to get the angle grinder out. So I need to cut here to allow that bolt to sit in there. I have to do it outside. Sorry neighbours. Also, when you're cutting, have I still got the mic on? I have. Safety first. Eye goggles, ear defenders, because it is horrendously loud. So, need my trusty grinder. Let's go grind. Like a glove. Okay, so that's now sat pretty much in line with that bad boy. You can see why we've had to cut it out. So that sits in there. the holes all line up. And in there, I just now need to sort the seatbelt out. But look how much better that looks. So if anyone wants some red seats, I've got a pair of facelift red leather seats for sale. Right, okay, so that is done. I've got a bolt, here it is. So it's a longer bolt, put a washer on it. Where's the old one so I can show you? Not much taller, and it starts about 10mm more thread. Let's take this off to get to the bolt under here. And I think you have to take the base off, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, to be able to get to it, but we'll see in a sec. So you have world's tiniest screw, Phillips. Oh, I can't even hold it, it's so tiny. Which goes in here. There's a clip at the back here, you just need to pivot that off to get here. There's a 14mm for the seatbelt. But like I say, there is a connector, so it goes all the way down to here. You have to take this off, and to be able to get that out, I believe you have to slacken the seat. But I'll get the buckle off first and I'll show you. So with this 14 out, the buckle is now loose. But to be able to get this out, you need to slacken the seat. 12mm on a gun. Can't remember if you need to take the whole thing off. There you go. One seatbelt buckle out. So as you can see, this is now reconnected, so it knows when the seatbelt is on. I have the bolt, washer, spacer to hold the buckle in. We can play that in a minute. I need to get the nuts under here. So what I did on the other one is I put the nuts under first, because you can't really get to anything after it's in. So if you put it like that, and I think it was probably this one, when you put the seat over the top, you can just drop the bolt in and catch it. And it's in. These bolts are tight. These bolts are tight. We have a buckle there, so I can go through the seat. This seatbelt, seatbelt I need to take off and run through here. So you just need a 14. So I'll do that now. Woo! Seat officially in. Seatbelt goes through here, and then it will go over you and through here into the buckle. Let's just sit in it and make sure it's... Oh, seat officially in. Let's have a look from this angle. Yeah, boy. They may not be the most comfortable seats ever, or the best seats. In fact, I'm not a huge fan of them, but they were at the Celica, and they didn't cost me anything. So they've been repurposed for the MR2. The seatbelt on, everything. Also, I'm going to have some black t-shirts available soon. Yellow, available in the shop now. So next job is get this out so I can get to the steering rack. We need to get the wheels off to get to the brakes and the steering rack to get track ends off. I need some food because I'm starving. I need a cup of tea. So I'll get this out, I'll get the wheels off, and I'll go and have some lunch and come back then. I'm just going to go for lunch, but before I do, here we go. This is out, which gives you access to the UJ. So we need to undo that bolt there, and the power steering lines off the back here, which come up to this electric pump, which is what we need the new fluid for. Track rod ends, undo these. This one's already been out and the split pin's free. This one is not, so I'll probably just gun it off anyway because I'm not really using it. Once that's out, there's a couple of bolts there and down there. I can show you why we're replacing it now. Oh, 10. So the reason we're replacing it is it's cracked. So you can see here. There you go, it's better. Yeah, the rack's cracked. It's quite a common thing on these. So we have a new one. Hopefully I can get it out without having to take all this plastic shite off, and hopefully it will come out through the top. I'll spray some WD on everything and then going for lunch. I want a cup of tea. Lunch has been eaten, tea has been drunk, so it's time to come back to this. I've put the steering lock on, so the UJ is stuck, it can't move, so I've just wire brushed the back of that nut and the one over there. Get the split pins out and knock these joints down, because I think it's the case of just 2 bolts, the pipes and the track ends, but I'll get them out and we'll come back and join me. I like it's flickering. it's out. So that was, my arms are filthy and pumped. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So if we have a look down here, you will see it said broken rack. Basically, there's a bolt there and a bolt there. You have to undo the 2 steering pipes, which are there, which are 17, and this UJ, which just slides off. That is literally it. It is a piece of poo to get out. It's just awkward when you're not on a ramp trying to lean over to get it, and it slides right across, and I just lifted it straight up. Okay, so what I've done is we have the 2 racks laid on top of each other. Oh, let me come down. I've turned these 2 bad boys till they are level. I've measured from the lock nut back to where the rack boot stops there on both of them to make sure they're the same distance apart. I've also, I'm trying to do this with one hand, do you like my pink measuring tip? To try and make sure they are straight. So I measured here to here ring length, and they are pretty much bang on. The thing needs an alignment, so it only needs to be close enough so it's not going to frick it up. So now I've got to put the rack back in. Or watch me do this because it's a pain in the balls. Let me get it in and come back in 5 minutes. So the rack is in. I've greased up the UJ. There is some new fluid in it. Hook these up, they're not tight yet, just so I can turn it lock to lock. Quick tip, when fitting it back in, there are washers here and here between the bush and the subframe. Do this side first. Well, you need to get the UJ on, get the UJ caught, then get this side caught because the rack moves like this. Get the bolt through. That'll lift this bit up and down, and then get this bit caught. Now, it's a bit hard trying to lean over here to do it, but it's not horrendous. But it is in. Everything's tight. I'm just put some fluid in it. I'm going to start it up and we'll go lock to lock to try and bleed some fluid out. I'm also covered in grease, and I think my face is covered in crap as well. So we're going to bleed it up. So all I'm going to do is start it up and turn it lock to lock, and then you'll see like air coming out of here, and we'll just have to keep topping it up. Sorted. Just check for leaks. I think we're all good. Got an unflattering angle. So that's all bled. It looks to be. That was pretty easy. So let's do the brakes. So brakes are super easy. We've done this loads of times, but I'll show you again. 17 there and there for the carrier. 14. If you're just doing pads, you can get away with just doing the 14, flipping it up. Anyway, let's get this off and put the new pads on. So brake fluid is hydroscopic, so it absorbs water. So you need to use a tester to check to see how much water it's absorbed, to see how contaminated the fluid is. So this is a tester. Basically, it just works out the water content of your brake fluid. You turn it on, and then you set the number to be what fluid's in here. So this is .4, so it should be number 2. That is amazingly number 2. So at the moment it's reading 0 because there's nothing in it. So we just dip it in, it will give us our reading. So I'll try and do this so you can see. Oh wow, okay. So so this went all the way to 4%. So it means there's 4% water moisture in this fluid. That is bad. I'm trying to work out a better way to explain this. I'm going to try and explain this again because I sound like a bit of a retard there. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture from the air. The moisture lowers the boiling point of the fluid significantly. So if you're using prolonged use on the brakes or heavy braking, the lower boiling point can cause the fluid to boil quicker, and that creates like vapor in the fluid, and the bubbles are compressible. So unlike the fluid, you get a shit pedal as when the pedal starts creeping down, because you're able to compress it where you shouldn't be able to compress the fluid. So you need to change your fluid regularly because it does absorb moisture. So you get moisture from, say, the cap's leaking, or it's just really old. Over time, it will absorb moisture. I use this in all my race cars. So it's in the sleeker. It's supposed to change it every year. So we should really be changing it in this because I've had it for a year now and we've never done a brake fluid change. It has had new brakes at some point, but I doubt they changed the fluid. They'd probably just bled the caliper. So you need to change your brake fluid. Always check your brake fluid. So we are going to be fitting, yes. I love PBS. I'll fit PBS to everything now. So they come with a little graph on the back to explain the pad. Tells you about the moo and stuff. I did do a video on why you need brake pads with PBS. Check that out here. But I will fit these to every car now. Pro Track is really good if you're doing like sprinting. If you have a car that you occasionally track, but you also use it on the road, go for Pro Track. If you have a pure race car, go for Pro Race. It's like a blue box. They also do like Pro Comp and other compounds. I'm going Pro Track because I do use this on the road. I'm only doing the fronts today because the rears are brand new. They're not doing a lot of the work. The front's going to be doing a lot of the work. So we'll be fitting these. There we go, I'll give you a little close-up. So 0 to 700 degrees, 0.4 to 0.48 moo. They are mega. If you don't own PBS pads, go and buy PBS pads because they're incredible. I will sell them to everyone at work. We're changing the discs. So I've got the disc off. You can see the pitting on the disc. I don't like that. It looks a bit wank, look where it's been set up. So someone did do pads in this, but the car was set up for about 9 months. So you've got all these high spots. Gone for a set of just plain, cheap, plain APEC discs because we've got an aggressive pad. So the pad is going to wear through the disc quicker than the disc will wear through the pad. So cheap discs, I think they're like 30 quid for a pair. All you want to do is check that they are the same size before fitting. This is just me as a tech. Are they the same height? And then check that the holes line up and the hub is the same. And then I generally go like that. So they are the same disc. Always check. We're going to brake cleaner this off before we fit it. Also, I know that fitting cheap discs will probably warp. I don't care. It's sprinting. And then by the time I go to Blyton, I will hopefully have some AR1s to go on this. So those in the bin, those PBS on the car. Still got to do fluid change after this. Then we've got to fit the rear camber bolts. We're nearly there. The hard part's out of the way. The hard part was this, really, and the chair, because I knew I had to cut the chair and make it fit. So we are on the vinegar stroke now. Fluid, I have to go and grab some help to bleed it. Top tip, start from the furthest away, be passenger rear. Fill this reservoir up to top with the new fluid. Crack that off and just get someone to pump it until all that fluid has gone through that caliper. As much as this fluid, out of like the ABS, everything, you probably won't get it all out, but as much of it out through there. It will start changing colour to the new fluid. Obviously keep topping it up, don't let it run dry. And then move to that one, that one, that one. And then by the time you're here, you're literally just emptying the lines between here and the ABS, really. So it shouldn't take that long, but you want to get as much of it out on the first corner. Okay, so another tip. Oh, the flash meds, it's horrible. Never leave your caliper hanging from the brake hose. So always, I have these little hooks that came out of the exhausts. You need to use a pair of water pump pliers to push the piston back. So then you squeeze back. Always make sure you have your cap off your reservoir to avoid a lot of catastrophe. So that should go back fairly easily. We've got the caliper cleaned, used brake cleaner, clean the surface because it comes coated in like grease to stop them rusting. The sliders were seized, so I've cleaned them off and greased them, ready to go back on. This side's ready to go back together. So that is one side done. Just got to do the other side, move around all this shite. Okay, so we have a slight issue down here. This bad boy is seized. I thought I needed a caliper, but apparently the new caliper I had is also seized, which sucks. Kind of screwed me over a little bit. I've jacked the back up. I'm going to do the camber bolts on the back. Stuff's never simple, so I thought I was nearly done. But yeah, we'll do the camber bolts at the back, and I'll show you how to do camber bolts. So I'll just give you a quick lesson in how they work. So this is a camber bolt. So it's got a cam lobe on it. This bit here, the tab, I've coloured this in by the way. The tab you place in whatever side you want, positive or negative camber. So if you want negative camber, so you take top bolt out, and then what you do is you replace it with the camber bolt. This tab dictates positive or negative. So if you have it so it's facing that way, you'll have more negative camber, which means the wheel will be into the car. If you have it this way, you have more positive camber, which means the wheel will sit this way. This is your maximum camber. So there's a little arrow to point to here. So I literally colour it in so I know where it is, because it's real hard to see once it's on. I copper grease them up. They do have a torque setting as well. Don't over tighten them because you'll break them. I'll show you how to do it in a second. Slacken the bottom bolt. Top bolt is undone. Then we want to pop new one in. You start off with it being the tab in because we want negative camber, and then the cam pointing all the way to the left so it can actually fit through. I'm putting the nut on. So this is 18, this is 15. Nip it down so it pinches the back, and then you can turn the cam. This might be a better spot for you to see. You just turn the cam lobe and you'll see the hub pulling in, and we just turn it until it's in line with that mark. That's full camber. Then we hold this and then tighten this, and then I also need to tighten the bottom one up, and then we need to torque up this camber bolt to 132 newton meters. 132. Not that you can really see. Sorted. Camber bolt installed. Camber added. That's one camber bolt done. Got to the other side. I've still got to bleed the brakes, so I need the wheels off at the back. So it's one done. I'll do the other one, and then we'll come back and bleed all the brake system out. System out. It's done. New fluid, new rack, new fluid. New pads and discs, PBS. Both seats in. Camber bolts on the rear, which looks mental. I don't think you can really see. There you go, it's probably a better view. Desperately need spaces. I need like a 20mm spacer on the back. Done, but except for this caliper, which is seized. Other than that, it's all done. And I can go in for my dinner. I need to swap them over. That old thing started, put it back in here. Oh, I'm absolutely knackered. Okay, I won't say more videos here and subscribe here because we've got to do a little bit tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. So we have a new problem that I've just discovered driving out. There is too much camber. It's now touching the strut. It might have just been, I don't think it's actually touched the wheel. So I need to take some camber out. Well, I need to get spacers or camber out the back. I just want to go to bed. But this is in. Morning. We're in Spider Shed. And I'm just trying to free off the caliper. The second one. I can't get a caliper anywhere, so I've managed to free this bad boy off. When I say free it off, I've got the piston out eventually. So I need to clean it. I don't have a new seal kit or anything, so I just need to clean it up. Can't paint it because I haven't got any paint, so I'm going to have to paint the other one red to match. We'll clean the piston up and put it all back together, and then hopefully that should fix that. I also have some spacers coming because the rear wheels with all the camber, so I thought there was a spider there, but it's not. The rear wheels are touching, well I say the wheels touching, the wheel weight is just off, so it's hitting the strut as it comes around, so I need some space, so I just bought some 20mm spacers from Amazon. So we're having a slight issue with the O-ring inside. I knew I shouldn't have taken it out, but I have now. This is expanded, probably due to the WD that I sprayed in here to try and get it free off. So what I'm going to try and do before panicking and getting the other one off and trying to free the other one off. So I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. And I'm going to see if it will shrink enough to get in here, because it's far too big at the moment. So join me in 10 minutes and see if it worked.
A few moments later.
I love science, so I didn't have enough time to film this because I literally had to wrap it out the freezer and stick it in. It's in. It's free as a bird. So all I've done is put it in that bag, put it in the freezer for 10 minutes, come out and put it straight in the caliper, and then the piston's just gone whoop, straight back in. It's all greased up. So that is going to save my bacon back on the car now. I need to fix the spacer issue, they'll be here today, and the tracking. I need to try and like home brew some sort of tracking on the front, because one side's towing in massively. I'll kind of make it up as I go along. But at least I've got a brake that works, so I can drive the car again. Although it is red. So it turns out the passenger caliper that I've had in storage for a year is actually a driver's side. I didn't think to check the bleed nipple because I just assumed it was. The freaking bleed nipple was all around. So after all that, I cannot use it. So I've got the old one off, pushed the piston out using the brake pedal, and this is what came out. So that obviously has not moved in a very long time, which will explain quite a lot. So I've got to get the piston out of here and the seal and put them in there and put it back together just so I can drive it, and then I'll get a proper rebuild kit for the front pair. Got a bump there now. The garage door dropped and I got up off the floor, it was here, and walked straight into it and knocked myself onto the floor. So if I can get the footage off the Ring doorbell, I'll put it in because it's quite funny. Front caliper is stripped and rebuilt. I say rebuilt, stripped and cleaned and put back together again. It's now free. Yeah. I'm going to try the spacers that I brought for the back and the front just to see what it looks like. Working brakes. So it wasn't the wheel catching, the wheel weight that's not on straight. Literally just touching there. There was a scratch, I just put some grease on it to stop it rusting, but because the wheels aren't, weights aren't on straight. It looks sick. Okay, so it is 2 days later since we filmed. Let me just get out. So we are done. It's been a long couple of days, but we'll show you what I've been doing. PBS. Let's take a look at the car. So apparently it's too windy to use the stand, so I'm just going to have to walk through and show you. So first of all, you notice it's fallen over. First of all, you notice the big old sun strip, PBS, love PBS. Come down here, new discs and pads, PBS Pro Track. Then you notice inside we have 2 matching seats finally. A pair of Cobra Monaco Pros with the Rogue Motorsport rails in, matching tire. On the back we have new tyres, which we saw last time, 20mm spacers, camber bolts, and I don't know how well we can see this on this angle, but about 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees camber on the back. So I've had to put spacers on because it was rubbing this side, the wheel weight wasn't quite straight, so it was just touching the struts it came round. So the battery ran out halfway through filming, so I didn't get a chance to finish. But yeah, so we're all ready for track. Just got to put some spacers on the front, get an alignment this week, hopefully. Well, I say hopefully, it needs to be done because I've got to go to Hatton at the weekend, and it needs to be done. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, more videos here. Subscribe here. Bye.